You seem to be doing well. I'll drink to that.
Hmm? I have half a mind to turn you in.
Let me rephrase. Maybe he has stepped aside so that another leader may guide us through this emergency.
He would not do that, and I know that is not what you meant. Watch yourself, friend. I do not want to forget your place.
It is still hard to believe.
What is it? I need to prepare. I will do no such thing, and will feel no regrets in avenging Amila's constant dishonors. I have given him every chance, every credit. I have begged him to turn himself around. But instead, it has been endless years of dishonor and pain. Damn him. I should have known years ago that this would be the only way things would end. Do you think I wanted this to happen? I tried to stop this downward spiral countless times. It was like saving someone from drowning, only for them to leap back into the ocean. Amila refuses to be helped, and he is determined to take me and the family name down with him. There is nothing that could lead me to calling it off. An apology from Amila is worthless. He always falls right back into his old ways. There is no apology grand enough to make up for nearly trading your late mother's remains to fund an addiction. That is inconceivable. Not at all. I have served my time in the military. Amila's condition made him unfit for service. He may put up a good fight, but I will surely be the victor. It would be, if Amila weren't a habitual liar, deceiver, and cheater. As I said before, an apology from him is less than worthless. He has apologized countless times for a decade, only to continue stabbing me in the back. No, you are not my second. I do not see how this is pertinent to your duties.
Show a modicum of respect and answer the questions.
Yes, my apologies. You are right. Forgive my ignorance. I will answer any questions you have for me. Grotshit! I was by his side for years afterwards, supporting him. I was saddened by her passing, and I cannot imagine what Amila went through during that time. But how many years am I expected to take care of him? To smack the bottles from his hand, to pay the bail when he was caught stealing. I have done more for him in 10 years than he has ever done for me in our lifetimes. I do not hate him. I do not love him either. And I can no longer tolerate him. I am sure Emila will spin a tale about his hard life. But the truth is that he has always been a miscreant and a troublemaker. But when Father moved to strike him, who dove in front of the blows? When Mother would not feed him, who sacrificed their food? It was me. It was always me. How does he repay me? He steals my valuables, slanders my name, and brings dishonor on the family. Any affection I had for my brother is long dead. The Koza ruined him. Once he began living at the bottom of a bottle, everything changed. I am just exhausted by him. It is exhausting to constantly be blamed by him for all of his problems, while always being expected to forgive and help him when he demands. An alcohol made from goat milk. Emila is absolutely dependent on it, and his wife was too. The damn stuff rots your brain, I swear. He has always been a troublemaker, but once the Koza took over, he went from bad to worse. Now he is just an addict and a thief. I will be putting him out of his misery. We were never the closest of brothers, as our personalities are just so different. But we were close enough. He was a free spirit, which irked my parents. Honestly, I respected him a lot. He was unbreakable, even though the world was not always kind to him. He was funny, kind, and he always was trying to cheer me up, even if I had nothing to be sad about. The Emila you know now is not my brother. My brother may as well have died years ago. The Emila walking around today is nothing like what he used to be. I have done everything, and he has left me with nothing. He comes begging for money, so I gave it to him. Then he comes begging for my items to pawn, so I sacrifice them. And then he comes screaming to me that I hate him, that I have done nothing to help him. All of this for a decade now. I would lay by his side every night praying that he would not choke on his own vomit. But in the mornings when I would throw away his bottles of Koza, he would fight me like a monster. I used to take such pride in giving to the community, and in using my privileged position to help the less fortunate in the city. But I can no longer do that, as Emila has taken nearly every cent from me. I have sacrificed my entire purpose for living in the hopes that Emila would get better. And he never does. No, Great Serpent, no. I will take no pleasure in his death. However, I may admittedly feel relief. I will mourn the loss of my brother. The brother he used to be, at least. And I will pray that his restless soul finds comfort with the Great Serpent. If that is all, you may take your leave.
much to do.
Kind of power.
How did you fare?
I'm glad it is in your hands.
As predicted, they have been blinded by scorn for one another. But you may still have a chance to halt any bloodshed. Listen to me very carefully. Your final duty as a second is to prepare the ceremonial drinks that the duelist will imbibe prior to the duel. As you are preparing the drinks, you will treat each cup with this tranquilizer. Borhall and Amila will be too weak to fight after drinking this. This duel is idiotic, we both know it. It is a needless loss of life during a crisis where there is already so much death. And the victor will rue his actions for the remainder of his life. You have one final chance to stop this.
You are placing both of their lives into our hands. This responsibility is not fair.
What is unfair about saving 2 lives? Tradition decrees that the second of the challenged prepares the ceremonial drinks. I, as the challenger's second, will lead the duelist in a final prayer. We must follow tradition closely so as to not arouse suspicion. If Borhall is wary of us, he will remove us as second and simply hire others. And the bloodshed will move forward unchallenged. Very good. Report to me when you are finished. May the Great Serpent aid us. Need me for something? Is everything ready?
I am sure. If everything is ready, then it is time to move forward. The time has come. Amila, are you sufficiently prepared?
I am ready.
It is time. Nothing we can do now but observe and hope for the best.
To your health, brother.
And may the Great Serpent have mercy on your soul, Amila.
What is this? What have you done to me, Amila?
I am affected as well, dear brother. I did not do this. I can hardly see you in front of me.
What the hell is this?
What did you do? What is this? Sabotage!
This duel was an asinine idea, Borhal. We put a stop to it. There is no use for needless bloodshed at times like these. We must come together, not kill one another.
You traitoress. You betray me. And then you lecture me.
Oh, enough of your grousing, Borhal. Your precious duel can wait. Or are you truly so determined to kill me?
Enough of your taunting. This is not over.
I am counting on that.
Remove yourselves. We must rest. But know that you have only delayed the inevitable.
Perhaps not the wisest decision.
Thank the Great Serpent. You did it. The tranquilizer worked and you saved them both. Thank you for trusting me. What? From the tranquilizer? They will sleep a few days and be fine. I expect. They may suffer a bit, but it is a far better alternative to being stabbed to death. Nonsense. You've made the right choice. Their egos are bruised, but deep down they are both relieved. Come what may, we have narrowly avoided a bloodbath today. If they are stupid enough to try again, we will find another way to stop it. But I doubt that day will come. Me too. I want to thank you. You trusted me, and because of you, the brothers, my friends, are both alive. They are imbeciles, but better people than they seem. I am grateful for you. Please take this. It is admittedly not much compared to what you would have received if one of them had perished, but can you truly put a price on a human life? You are free to go. May the Great Serpent be with you, always.
Greetings.
We will all be lucky to see the end of the year. Well, look who it is. You have made quite a stir, and given the state of things, that is a singular accomplishment. To what do I owe the honor, Vindicator? Well, well. Progress, at last. Then your arrival is even more momentous than I'd believed. I will spare you much of the technical detail, as I confess that pieces of it I barely understand myself. One cannot help but notice the energy field around the Scaled Citadel. Until we can get through it, we cannot shut down the experiment inside, and it has proved quite impossible to get through. We had the beginnings of a plan to build a makeshift contraption to redirect grav drive energy to see if we could penetrate the barrier, but the project came to a halt. Politics got in the way.
I can imagine that without the Speaker to issue clear directions, things have been difficult.
Every one of the houses needs to contribute, and everyone realized they could potentially use it for leverage. What should have been a cooperative effort turned contentious. Easy decisions became negotiations. And so, construction never began. We have sat here, staring at this disaster as supplies pile up for well over a week now. Serpent help us, it is infuriating. I don't disagree, but allow me to impart some advice. Most would consider that disloyal, possibly even heresy. Keep that kind of talk to yourself. I believe I've done enough complaining for now. Time to get to work. If you're here, the Council has likely sent word to the houses that it's time to stop the infighting. I doubt it will be enough. I need to oversee construction here, make sure things are built to specifications. If you could follow up with the houses, that may speed up the process. The first convert in generations. The only one to have heard from the Speaker since the disaster. Oh, I think they will listen. House Fetal owes us access codes for the city power grid. It's the only way to guarantee enough power to activate the device. House Kadik was supposed to provide a young scientist named Sahima to help me. She had at least some experience with the original Citadel experiment. No idea why they refused to send her. And Hasmek, the new elder of House Dulkef, he has been distant, guarded. He claims to have vital information about an important component of the experiment, but has withheld it until now. Help me get what we need, and we will see what we can do for the Speaker, and for House Varun. And I may have something that can help you in whatever trials the Serpent puts before you as we navigate this. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. Yeah, if only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. Yes, exactly. I am glad I am not the only one who can see that. Does nothing to make the loss any easier, but still. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe. These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation of vortex energy. We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive mixture with varying properties. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have more practical applications. Well, then allow me to provide you with a few starting samples. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffice, if you have the materials. And depending on how you combine said materials, you may find the results to be somewhat variable. I hope you can use that to your advantage. Not enough to have prevented it from happening. If I had any idea it was going to turn out like this, It had been Inasco's primary goal for some time. A way to recreate Jinan Varun's encounter with the Great Serpent. Everything we knew about grav drive technology, every scientific advancement we'd made in the last 100 years was poured into it. Towards the end, I was just so exhausted. I asked for a brief time off. Had I not, I would be trapped in there with the rest of the science team. I have never considered luck a real factor in anything. Given the state Dozra's in now, I would hardly call this lucky. But I suppose it is better than the alternative. I left the project weeks before the disaster, and at that point, we were nowhere near ready. Some breakthroughs were made shortly thereafter, and they ran the experiment. And here we are. Yes, depending on how much trouble you're getting into. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. I know. I have lost friends and colleagues myself. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe. These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation of vortex energy. We have managed to collect enough to run, while they haven't. I do hope you are not questioning the thoroughness of my research. I assure you, they will work. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation, and depending on how you